So first ones are coming from Cabacranella. He actually commented on a video last week when we did this live stream, and he had quite the resume of surfboard building dating back from, I think he said like the 70s, somewhere around there, which was very cool. And then I did actually read one of these comments, I think. Yeah, it was this first one. So he's been shaping boards with a Kiwi shaper named Scotty James, and that kind of caught my attention. So I looked up Scotty James from Dunedin, who lives in Australia and makes surfboards over there. And I actually reached out and contacted Scotty because I have just started Shapers Collective, which is selling New Zealand Shapers boards. So I got in touch and let Scotty know that if he ever needs a shaping bay, if he's visiting New Zealand and he wants to make a board and he needs somewhere to shape it, glass it, sell it from, to let us know. So thank you to Cabacranella for teeing all that up, I guess, via this comment right here. So I guess that's just what I will say. I'm not going to out Cabacranella's real name, but I did have a chat with Scotty about him, and yeah, quite the impressive resume. Hey, that's cool. I actually got in touch with him after reading your comment to let him know that there's always a shaping bay here for him in NZ if he ever needs. Turns out his cousin actually lives here in Mangawhai, so he might even have the resources to build his own shaping bay in New Zealand, which would be pretty cool. And he could sort of come over doing yearly visits and make some boards during those visits, and then I would have the space to sell them from. If he's doing stock boards, it might only be customs. I guess it would depend on the trip. But yeah, cool stuff. Thanks for teeing all that up, even though that was not a deliberate thing, I don't think, but that works out pretty well. We may as well, let's drag that down there. What do we got? Instagram. I'll show you some of his boards. He actually did a cool little series this week, sort of following the glassing process of his newest boards that he made. So this is Scotty James here, SJS Customs. Makes a nice board. This looks like it's straight out of board porn. Mostly polys, he said, he's doing, although this was the first photo that captured my attention. So I assumed he was doing EPS, but most of the boards he's doing are poly PU. Big scoops out of his fish. I like this. I've actually made a fish myself with the same scoop, but mine started further up. But I actually used the template that I cut the outline of the board with to make this same scoop. So we had a little bit of a back and forth about that scoop, and he said that it's faster. That's where the speed comes from, and I said by my calculations about 10.4% faster, I think was what I was going with. That is based on no science at all, but it sounded like a good sounding number. So yeah, anyway, Kiwi Shaper from Dunedin in Australia, sjscustom.com.au, SJS Custom on Instagram. You can go and check him out. But yeah, pretty cool to tee up with him. because of a YouTube comment. For those of you who aren't in the loop, Shapers Collective opened, I should say, last week. So this is a, I guess, showroom in the entrance of my Ding Repairs, which will sell only New Zealand shaped surfboards. We don't take a cut from the sales of the surfboards. We don't mark the prices up. We just rent rack space for about the same amount as you would pay for Netflix. So that's kind of the premise of it. So it'll give New Zealand shapers a place to sell their boards from without competing with a bunch of manufactured, popped out, overseas manufactured, pop out kind of stuff. So that's sort of the premise. And we'll have some artwork in there as well. We got a fella named Joe to drop off some artwork this week. So he's a local artist. And these are all of our local surf spots. So he did